Hey guys, we are back at Oberland Station, and today we are going to be building a bar, an office, as well as some storage areas for the Minuteman checkpoint here at Oberland Station. As you can see, we're going to be using shipping containers as well as some boxcars, and I think it ended up looking really cool, especially those boxcars there with the wood bits attached. Looks awesome. Let's get started, shall we? So we're going to go ahead and start by building the bar, and it's going to take up just one shipping container. So 2 of these floorboards should be enough. And now we're going to go ahead and build the foundation and slide it in underneath the floor of the bar there. Now these actually come from a mod called box houses, and it lets you build shipping containers as well as boxcars. And then we're just going to use place everywhere to sink that into the ground, and it will act as a support. Now, as far as lore goes, the Minutemen here at Oberland Station could easily find shipping containers as well as boxcars. There are 2 train depots, one on either side of Oberland Station, so it would be pretty easy for them to find what they needed and just drag it back. And as I build the bar here, we're going to go ahead and leave the front open, just so we have easy access to the interior. So now we're going to work on the wall that runs along this side of the settlement, and we're going to use these little quarter floor pieces to basically create a path along which we can attach our junk fences. And it's very similar to the technique I used in my Raider farm build with the scaffolding, only this time we're just going to use the floors. And it's really cool because if you want to extend the length of the wall, you just add more floorboards and you know that it's all lined up. Once again, we are going to use the junk walls that come with the Homemaker mod. I really like these walls here because they're really tall, so when you attach them to the walkway, you actually don't have to add any additional railings. It keeps people from falling off, and the idea is you just get it the right height and then bury the walkway into it so it looks like it's supported. So I got about halfway done with the wall and I realized that the walkway was just a little bit too high. So now we're going to use one of these curved ply boards, and we're going to use that to just lower the walkway. So just kind of line it up so it's resting on the shipping container there, and it looks realistic. It looks pretty good. Let's see what it looks like from underneath. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So now it's going to be a matter of using these floorboards here to just attach just like we did before. You can see I'm sinking it into the wall there. Even though I'm going to have to tear down these junk walls, we wanted to make sure it was lined up because they're going to be in roughly the same place. Just got to straighten that up a little bit. And this time we'll vary the floorboards we use just to, change up the texture a little bit, make it a little more interesting. Looks pretty good. So now we're going to add some of the box cars. Now they snap together just like the shipping containers do, so I'm not going to show you that whole process. More or less just where I'm placing the floors. And the idea is to get them as close to the junk wall as possible, but not too close that the junk wall clips with the boxcar. So I think that's going to be close enough. And I'm really happy, especially with this particular boxcar, with the way it turned out and it joins with the opening in the wall we're going to have. You'll see, it's actually really cool. So now to check, make sure the wall doesn't clip with the junk wall. And looks fine. Nice. With the boxcar fully constructed, it was floating a little bit. So we're going to use more junk fences to basically just cover up the fact that it's floating. And it looks a little bit more supported, and plus it changes the texture up a little bit. So you don't just have the rusted out boxcar, you also have the wood junk fences underneath it. Just a matter of lining it up and having it buried inside, but not so much that it clips through. Almost got it there. Sweet. So we're going to add a couple more box cars, and Basically, I'm doing the same thing that we just did with the other boxcar. Just want to get it as close as possible without having the walls clip with the shipping containers there. And I'm going to change the color up and use an orange this time. Now this is the final boxcar placement, and you can see there just making sure it's straight, and it definitely floats, but we can use the same technique with the junk fences underneath it to kind of change the texture up and also make it look supported. It's just a matter of snapping the walls into place. For the roof of this boxcar, we're going to use these floorboards. It creates a nice little platform, plus breaks up the texture a little bit. Oh, fell off. Problem with not having railings. So now we're going to need a little stairway just because of that lip there and the difference between the wood roof and the boxcar roof. So I'm going to use Place Anywhere to just slot that into place. Make sure it's not clipping too much. Nah, it is, but that's fine. I'm really happy with the way this boxcar turned out. I like the orange door as well as the wood wall there. Kind of looks really scavenged together. This place is coming around pretty nicely. So we're nearly done. It's just a matter of some finishing touches here. Mostly just railings. I'm not going to show all of it just because, you know, it's basically the same technique. I'm just going to place this railing here and get it close enough, but not too close that it clips all the way through. And just a matter of straightening that up. Nice. Here we are at the bar, right along the train tracks. I figured that's the best placement for the bar. I mean, if you're traveling through, you know, the Commonwealth, you're probably walking along the train tracks or walking along a road, so this would have easy access for any wanderers. Now, this being a Minuteman checkpoint, only Minutemen are going to be allowed inside the settlement, but the bar would be open to the public. You can see there she has her wares out on the bar, as well as lunch boxes there in case you just need to grab something and head out. Or you could sit and have a meal like these guys here. Minuteman flag, you know, this is a Minuteman checkpoint. Looks like we have some canned Mirelurk meat there and a little hot plate. And then we have more seating for the bar out here. Looks like somebody has their breakfast laid out. And then another group is having a liquid breakfast. Now you can see there in the distance, well, not really in the distance, but the Minuteman barracks we have on the other side of the settlement. Now we're almost done here at Oberland Station. I think just a couple of finishing touches, and we should be ready for the final tour here, maybe in about a week or so. Now you can see this boxcar here. I replaced the roof with corrugated steel roof. It really kind of changes it up a little bit, gives it a kind of a shed look, which I really liked. Plus it looks, I don't know, has a junkyard feel to it that I really like. Minuteman propaganda, of course. I believe that's from Evil Viking. I'll go ahead and link all the mods I use in a Google Doc in the description. This boxcar is one of my favorites. I really like the change in textures with the wood and then the orange door on the blue boxcar. And I really like how close the boxcars are together. It kind of gives it a cramped feel, creates these strange corridors you can see down the side there. Now this boxcar is a storage shed. Now this being a Minuteman checkpoint, Minuteman patrols are going to come through. They're wandering the Commonwealth. They're going to need to resupply. They're going to need to rest. This is where they would do that. And they could pick up supplies from this shed here. You can see there's just various crates with different stuff in them. Extra tools hanging up on the wall there. Of course, you got a military trunk. Looks like a disassembled Mr. Handy, still in the original box. That's a pretty good find. Got a water barrel there, and of course, a little bit of fire, keep warm. I'm sure it gets really cold at night. And just, various supplies laying about. Now, out here in the courtyard, we have a little dog house there, and then this nice big wall of shipping containers. And now that wood wall there, it actually snaps into place. It's really cool. I don't know, it adds a nice look to it. changes it up a little bit too. You can see this red container here. It's kind of rusted out. They had to repair it with corrugated steel, and then used it as a little mini storage shed. You have some water barrels and different crates in there, and of course a little private cooking area. You know, the Minutemen, they're an army, and I figure there's probably not a lot of privacy, so I tried to build a couple of little areas where different Minutemen could sit and have a little bit of time to themselves, away from everybody else. That's really important. So coming out here, we have the lounge across the way, but before we go in there, let's check out the commanding officer's office. Head up the stairs here, you can see a little trophy area, some weaponry on display. Got a Mirelurk king there that was slain. And in this playthrough, the Minutemen are at war with the Brotherhood, so we have a Brotherhood helmet that was taken off a kill there. Wouldn't be an administrator's office if there wasn't paperwork, so of course there's so much paperwork that it won't even fit in the file cabinets. You have to have some of it in boxes on the floor. And then of course we have his desk here. A little bit of tea out. Looks like maybe more than just work going on here. Got a few holotape games. He's in charge after all. He can probably do what he wants. And across the way there we have the Minuteman flag and a little waiting area. So while he finishes up his game, you can wait to speak to the commander. You can see here I have a little wet bar. And then of course some seating. Looks like a special book on the counter or on the table there. Now this is my favorite part about this particular I guess this particular boxcar, is it opens up into this tunnel, or yeah, you can call it a tunnel, that heads over to the bar, or at least the storeroom for the bar. I really like the way this looked. I don't know, it's kind of narrow and cramped, and it just, yeah, it's probably my favorite part of the whole build actually. Looks like we have some whiskey distilling in barrels, and then the rest of the storeroom. Fresh food, boxed food, alcohol of course. It is attached to the bar. Just various things that you know, travelers might need as they're moving through. And again, all of this stuff would be sold to the general public as it's attached to the bar. You can see there's a fridge and some purified water there. And then here's the other side of the bar. And then you get a nice view of the tracks there as people walk along it. Now let's head back through that tunnel and check out the lounge that we skipped. You can see the lights that I have hanging from the ceiling there. It is very dark down here without that lighting on there. I don't use a lot of electricity in a lot of my builds, but in this particular one I definitely had to place them around. These boxcars get really dark as well. So heading on out, we can enter in the lounge. Now this is a Minuteman checkpoint, so you know, Minuteman patrols going through the Commonwealth are going to need a place to rest, and you know, this would be one of those places. You can see we have some refreshments laid out and more propaganda on the walls. Grab your coffee and Nuka-Cola, maybe a snack. You can read some comic books there, magazines. And then on this other side here, we have a little lounge area, a couple of couches, looks like a couple of meals set out, patriotic artwork on the walls. Now there's not a lot of decoration here. I figured most of the people using this are going to be Minutemen that are traveling. The Minutemen who are stationed here, they have their own areas for relaxing. And again, this would not be for the general public. This is Minutemen only in here. Now going up the stairs here, this path will lead us to a guard station. Here's a better look at that roof. I really like the way that boxcar turned out. It definitely has a junkyard feel to it. Now going up on top of the commander's office. We have another seating area. A little bit of privacy, got a bench there, a little cooler on the ground. And we walk along this path here through the branches. Now you can see if I didn't lower this path, it'd be way up into that tree, and that was no good. So here we are on the roof of the bar, and we have a little cooking area for the Minutemen so they can prepare meals for themselves. And over here we have a table where they can eat those meals. We have some beer laid out, and looks like some meat ready for consumption. Now coming into this little guard area here, we have a small break area attached to it. And this particular container was so rusted out they had to repair the wall there with some wood and put a little railing, leave it nice and open so you can still see even if you're seated. Looks like some checkers and reading material. Deathclaw hand on the wall there. Really proud of that kill. Then over here we have some ammo and some buff out just in case there's a battle. We have a guard here, keeping an eye out on things. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. Leave me a comment below if you have any ideas on how I can improve things or have any questions for me. Subscribe if you want to see when my next video goes live. We should be at Starlight Drive-In next. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until then, enjoy your time in the Commonwealth.